I swear, half the time, whenever I watch Hassan Piker, he's eating. He's a big boy. He needs his food, I guess.
He's a big boy. He needs his food, I guess. Delicious. Garrett, I feel like I haven't seen you in a century. Let's see. We haven't recorded in at least 2 weeks. We actually missed a whole video upload. And so...
Yeah, our first schedule slip of many, to be sure.
And so on this casual conversation of ExtraHuman, we're going to talk about that. Hi, it's me, Michael, the monster under your bed.
And I'm Garrett. Don't know where I'm from yet. That's going to be for the end of the episode. I don't know. I don't know how I can sustain this whole different place each time shtick I have going on. I'm going to start needing suggestions from the comment section. People, please comment and engage.
That would be so cute. So today we're going to try and keep things short and sweet because the last few weeks have been really rough on the both of us between our work schedules, between our life schedules, between political stuff going on in the U.S. He and I are both U.S. citizens and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we've been paying close attention to this election. It's been kind of taking a toll, as I'm sure many other Americans can relate. I just want to take a moment to give a huge thank you to the 17 or so people that watch our shit regularly. Thank you so much for giving us a chance and keeping up with us.
Thank you so much.
It's going to get even better from here on out, I promise.
Yes, it's going to get even better. One thing that we're probably not going to ever do again is I made the mistake of pushing us to do an interview that week, and then we put out a smaller video. Yeah. It was a lot to do.
We suddenly found ourselves a lot more overloaded than we planned to be, especially with what else was going on at the time. Like we had this workload plus life stuff and this election hanging over our heads. So can we talk about that?
Yes, I did not realize how hard that was going to hit me. Like I knew you had a lot invested and I knew I mentally had a lot invested, but honest to God, that wiped me so hard.
Right? It's just so you can't look away. Like, you have to know who's the president next year. And you have to know how this is going and how both sides are handling it. So you know who to hate and how much. And
yeah, for real.
Like, I mean, not really. Like, is that a useful way to go about participating in an election? Not really. But at the same time, you just can't look away. Like, you try, but it's impossible because it just feels too important.
I feel like something that's really important that came out of the last 4 years, no matter what Democrat won, no matter what third party candidate won, it would not have been a situation like these last 4 years. I don't think that there are people on certain sides of the aisle that understand that people who were extra critical of Trump, that criticism isn't going to go away. We don't get to just relax our shoulders and be cool with what's going on, especially like channels like ours. And you were talking about Hassan Piker, right?
Oh yeah,
earlier?
All the political YouTubers, I was glued to watch his stream. He was like going through it all, breaking down like results by state and engaging with his stream, who were like totally like doom spiraling as he was trying to convince people like, hey, it's not that bad. We actually still have a shot. And turns out we did still have a shot, but like it was this whole emotional roller coaster of several days.
Oh my God. And then like, so I've got two questions for you. One, where were you when you found out the results? And two, because I know you were glued to the screen. And two, the goal that I find that many people on both sides of the aisle right now are wanting is to find a way to bridge the gap, because not all Republicans are nasty, awful, horrible people with the worst intentions. I can never agree with the Republican Party and I can never agree with conservative ideology, but I have a conservative grandparent, but he was never a heavy, like always Trumper kind of guy. So those are my two questions for you. Where were you and how are you going to adjust mentally to a Democrat in the House while working with Republicans and stuff? Because I honestly don't know where I'm going to go from there.
Well, let me start with the easier, more bite-sized question first. Where was I?
Yeah.
I was in bed. I believe I had just woken up. You had sent me a message screaming, yay, Biden won, or something like that. Because like I'm on the West Coast, right? Other than Hawaii and Alaska, I'm usually among the last to know what happens overnight in this country. I woke up and I saw like Biden won. I'm like, really? So I checked the map and it showed that Pennsylvania, or was it Pennsylvania that had gone blue first, or was it?
Yeah, it was Pennsylvania that went blue first, and then Nevada, and then Georgia.
Yeah, which like just seeing Pennsylvania going blue was like such a sigh of relief, because that was the one that like really mattered. Like if Pennsylvania gets decided, then it's a sure thing.
It's done.
I was immediately very relieved, and I woke up still tired, but feeling like I could go another day. I have work in Hollywood, right? And when I got to Hollywood, this is the more interesting part. Everybody else in Los Angeles also found out around the same time. I got to work, and it was just endless joy, partying. People were driving on Hollywood Boulevard, honking their horns constantly all day.
So
it was
sweet.
actually really annoying, but it was great. But it was so great. I had never seen the population of Los Angeles that happy, not even when the Dodgers won. People just were celebrating the whole day, so much like positive energy, except for, you know, there were some people that came into my store that day that definitely voted for Trump, and you could feel their disappointment and disbelief. But everyone else was very happy. I was happy, and it was one of the best work days I've had in a while, that's for sure.
So I was actually at work when the news dropped. I live Central Standard Time. I live in Wichita, much smaller city. My job is very boring. I won't go into details about that. I was on my first break, and I was on an early shift, so that makes sense why. It would have been the first piece of information you woke up to. So I went on break, and I just checked my phone religiously, as everybody else had, and I saw the news and was like, oh my God. So I texted everybody. I texted my family. I texted you.
Like, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, very real. I woke up everybody in our house and was like, oh, look at the news.
I'm just imagining this sequence of you like busting through people's doors like, Biden won! Biden won!
I was like Paul Revere delivering news. Later that night, I got to watch part of his address to the nation and stuff. Teared up a little bit when Kamala was talking. I understand that Kamala's a cop. That sucks, but she's still the first female vice president of our country, which is amazing, and that can be celebrated.
Female of color, like that's important too. And
yeah, exactly.
And I think it's important to recognize both. This has been a running theme since the primaries. We all know that Biden and Kamala Harris suck. We know that the Democratic Party in general sucks, but they are the much better option than the alternative. Voting the way that we did in this election helped us to avoid the worst timeline, I think.
So, one, some really important notes. Just really important for boys and girls to see a female vice president. And two, this is the first time the word transgender has come up in a presidential speech.
Is that so?
Yes, I teared up. I couldn't help it. And then later on, we were like, we're gonna go celebrate. We didn't even get out of our neighborhood, and God, I hope this isn't a metaphor for the election and for like everything going on. We didn't even get out of our neighborhood, and we watched a dog get hit by a car.
Oh.
Sorry for people listening to this and stuff, but yeah, that was part of the reason why we didn't have videos for the last 2 weeks, is because it was an awful experience. And I know that sounds really wimpy to be like, I saw a dog get hit and so now I can't make videos.
Oh,
but
you're
like,
a human with a heart. You're such a wimp. God.
I know.
Man up.
So we both had overexerted ourselves in October. And then we moved into election week when we were planning to film some stuff, and we just couldn't do it mentally. We were overexerted from last week. We had no will in us left to video edit. Nothing was left.
Yeah, and we still had money to make too, so.
Yeah, we had our jobs to do, and then that with the dog, and I was just like, I can't make videos this week, dude. And you were like, I can't either because I can't edit. I'm tired.
Yeah, because you put this question out there, I do kind of want to answer it before we're done. So as far as this whole mood of trying to reach across the aisle and reconnect with people who maybe voted for Trump and try to bring them over and help them see things our way and not like ruin those relationships.
Yeah.
I think it's different depending on whether we're talking about like government level or like simple interpersonal level.
Yeah.
Like just with friends and family in your real life.
Yeah.
When it comes to the higher levels of politics, I don't know if I really have the answers for that. But when it comes to the more interpersonal level, like I know people who voted for Trump, people in my hometown, family. I think it kind of depends on like how far into Trumpism they are, because some people really just vote for him because they think that he is preferable to the alternative, just as we did. More or less. So I think those are the people that we can really actually talk to. We never have to agree with that decision, but I think we can still like share our experiences and like show them where we're coming from. As much as it's a big ask for people who are negatively affected by their vote.
Exactly.
Like, it's still a good idea for us to try and show them how that hurts us.
I don't know if it's show them how necessarily, because it gets so tiring to continuously educate oppressors. It's exhausting.
Yes.
Like, Google's free. You don't have an excuse not to look for information in 2020.
That's true.
If you voted for Trump, I don't know if I can have more than just pleasantries with you.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that we got to try and build bridges where there were none, because there are already people in my life that I know don't give a fuck. And like, we're always going to vote for Trump.
You're much better at cutting people than I am. I end up hanging on to things. Like, I have family who I'm sure voted for Trump last year, but actually didn't vote for Trump this year. And those are the people that like, okay, I can work with you. Like, I don't know if I would ever vote for a Republican. I don't ever want to be an always Democrat, because the Democratic Party doesn't quite represent what I'm after either.
No, the two-party system that we're in barely represents any of us.
It's awful. I want to move forward and try and heal up our country, but our country is a lot.
It is a lot.
I could never be a politician.
Oh God,
ever.
Same.
I can barely do an internet talk show. All right, well, I'm glad we could lighten that up. And that is where we're going to wrap today.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave a comment if you want to see something covered in the future. How do you like this, my boyish hair? It's flapping down now.
I like it when it flops.
This was Michael. This is Michael, the very uncomfortable monster under the bed.
And this is Garrett, the fairy from Horny Jail.
Yeah, go to Horny Jail. Bonk.
Wonk me, baby. Oh, God. What am I doing?
All right.
Bye.
Bye.